Hello, my friends. Chris Parsons here, author of It Starts With You, The Secret to a Passionate Marriage and Peaceful Home, even if your spouse doesn't want to change. And today, I am talking about the 5 rules to fexting, which is a new word. I've never heard of that. Apparently, it means fighting over text. And very common issue for a lot of couples. And I had a reporter a few weeks ago reached out, wanted some do's and don'ts for fexting. I guess apparently President Joe Biden's wife said that they fexed sometimes. It sounds like I'm saying something else, but it's F-E-X-T. Fight over text, fexting. So I'm going to give you the 5 rules, but and so it looked like the reporter never did anything with that story. As far as I can tell, the story never came out. It's been a couple weeks. I figured, I like the rules I came up with. Might as well make a video, podcast, and do something with this. But the thing about these rules, before I get into them, if you're capable of doing this, and you are, then you wouldn't be fexting. I don't even like saying it. Fighting over text. All right, so let's get into it. I've got a little cheat sheet because it was too much for me to remember. And so rule number 1 to fighting over text is to stay on subject. Okay? Meaning, you do keep it limited and on topic to whatever this fight is about, right? Don't drag up old, irrelevant topics. Don't let it go off topic into everything else. It's an emotionally charged situation. So keep it focused on whatever the fight is about. Rule number 2. State how you feel in a useful way, right? So do not make them feel attacked. That's what most people are doing. When they communicate something, they make their spouse feel attacked, which then makes them get defensive and want to defend themselves, justify themselves, or argue and try to change your mind, make you think that you are wrong. So just say how you feel, how what they did made you feel. Very powerful communication tactic. Rule number 3, listen to understand. Do not do what I just told you your spouse will do if you make them feel attacked. Do not get defensive. Do not try to justify yourself. Do not try to make your spouse feel like they are wrong. Listen to understand. So ask clarifying questions where you say, okay, I'm not sure if I understand what this means. What does this mean? And the goal here is to make your spouse feel heard, like you're actually listening to them. Rule number 4 is to acknowledge how difficult it is to fight over text, because there's no nuance. There's no, other aspects of communication, like your body language, to show how you're feeling. It's just words on a screen. There's no inflection. There's no, so it is difficult to fight over text or communicate really anything deep, but especially emotionally charged things over text. So don't try to force the resolution of this argument over text. Do acknowledge that it's difficult and say, we can finish talking about this at a later time when I see you tonight, whatever. Rule number 5 is end on a positive note. So do not end by just not responding. Do not end by saying something mean, nasty, letting the anger and the frustration linger. Instead, let them know that you care about them, right? So sign off by saying, hey, I'm running into a meeting, whatever you're doing. I've got to go, but I care about you and look forward to finishing talking about this, discussing this when I get home. Right? So that's the 5 rules. Just to recap, rule number 1, stay on, well, wait. I take little snippets from these videos and put them on Facebook and Instagram and let's see, now I'm on Twitter. I guess I'm going to have to get TikTok to start putting stuff on there, but I don't really want it on my phone because I don't want to be addicted to it like so many people are. So I need to create like a little 1-minute snippet that I can put. So here's the 5 rules to fexting or fighting over text with your spouse. Rule number 1 is to stay on subject. Keep it limited to what you're talking about. Don't go off topic. Rule number 2 is to state how you feel in a useful way by communicating how what your spouse did made you feel. Do not make them feel attacked. Rule number 3, listen to understand them so that they feel heard. Rule number 4, acknowledge how difficult it is to have this conversation over text. And rule number 5 is to end on a positive note. All right, my friends, see you next time.